The movie Spider-Man: No Way Home has topped the box office in 2021. The appearance of 3 generations of Spider-Man in the same frame with Green Goblin and Electro-Man, Dr. Octopus is definitely the biggest highlight of this movie. Of course, this is not over yet. It has been confirmed that the story of Spider-Man continues. So what surprises will there be in the next Spider-Man 4? One of the most notable characters is probably Ned, Peter Parker's best friend. There have been many clues confirming that Ned will appear in Spider-Man 4. There are many clues that Ned will blacken and become the villain Hobgoblin, demon, in this movie. So who is Hobgoblin and what is his story? Hobgoblin, journey from designer to millionaire to supervillain. Hobgoblin, real name Roderick Kingsley, was a successful fashion designer and millionaire. Through his many businesses, Kingsley built his own financial empire and its influence extended far beyond the fashion industry. Kingsley could have lived the high life, but he was tired of it. George Hill, Kingsley's associate, stumbled upon one of the original Green Goblin's secret lairs. He told Kingsley this, but Kingsley killed his associates to ensure the secret would not leak. The idea of becoming a costumed criminal. He then donned the Green Goblin costume. The Marvel villain Hobgoblin was born. Soon after, Kingsley began his criminal activities, intending to blackmail several prominent figures including Daily Bugle owner Jonah Jameson and Osborn's son Harry. This brings him into conflict with Spider-Man, but he is no match for Spider-Man. Kingsley knows that his powers need to improve quickly. He plans to modify Norman Osborn's original Green Goblin formula to increase his own powers, but he doesn't want to make a mistake and cause himself to go insane like Norman Osborn, so Kingsley decides to test it on a henchman named Donovan. He asks Donovan to disguise himself as a ghost and attack Spider-Man and monitor his vital signs remotely. Donovan intends to reveal the identity of the Hobgoblin, but when Donovan is about to reveal the Goblin's true identity, he is killed by Kingsley's remote-controlled glider. Convinced that the experiment was a success, Kingsley becomes even more immersed in joy. Having given him unprecedented powers, Kingsley discovers that the formula gives him powers on par with Spider-Man and possibly even more than the Green Goblin. After a while, Kingsley discovers that reporter Ned Leeds has followed him to his lair. Also a friend of Spider-Man in the movie, Ned learns Kingsley's secret identity. But he is soon hypnotized by Kingsley, which makes Ned believe that he is an evil spirit. Kingsley takes advantage of Ned to ally with the psychopath to carry out criminal activities and brainwash him. Ned's family life becomes unstable and he changes his attitude towards work. Ned becomes violent towards his family, and in the end, Ned is just a pawn. As the gang war against the psychopath's territory gets more and more out of control, Kingsley decides to hide his identity as a demon. He revealed details about Ned's identity, leading to Ned's discovery. Being executed in Germany, being murdered while working helped Kingsley escape. It also led his enemies to believe that the villain was dead. This scene will most likely appear in Spider-Man 4, not long after the real villain Kingsley returned. However, Ned's widow was discovered by Tyrant. To investigate, with the help of Spider-Man, Kingsley's mask was exposed. The evil spirit was imprisoned and Ned was finally cleared of his grievances after Kingsley was imprisoned. He denied that he was the Green Goblin. So, claiming that he had a copy of Osborn's lost diary could prove that Osborn was really the Green Goblin, but Kingsley eventually forced Osborn to break him out of prison. The pair clashed shortly after. Despite the stalemate, both benefit from the encounter. Osborn takes over Kingsley's company, while Kingsley flees to the Caribbean and steals Osborn's offshore accounts after making millions of dollars for a time. Kingsley's twin brother Daniel, pretending to be an evil ghost and working with the Nuclear Society, Daniel discovers at one of Osborn's old bases that Osborn is building more evil weapons, including new armor, a translucent jetpack, and a flaming energy sword, Daniel. In addition, the former Green Goblin Yurik is discovered trying to take something. The two clash. It is clear that Yurik is the better one. He kills Daniel with an energy sword and takes the device to transform into a goblin. Kingsley continues to operate in Latin America. He receives news of his brother's death. After hearing about the rise of the new goblin, he returns to New York and finds Yurik's apartment. He dons the goblin costume again and attacks Yurik, and Spider-Man suddenly appears as the two goblins briefly fight. Taking the Green Goblin key, which is the key to one of Norman Osborn's Green Goblin warehouses, Kingsley and Yurik then decide to make a short truce and chase Spider-Man into the warehouse, and Spider-Man escapes on a glider. But Kingsley refuses and knocks Yurik out with a taser. After escaping, Kingsley decides to let Yurik continue as the Hobgoblin, but only if he gets a cut of the profits. In Paris, Kingsley tells his servants that he will expand his supervillain franchise to include the sale of Russian identities and equipment, or minor villains who died in exchange for a portion of their clients' profits. Kingsley also kept a close eye on Yurik to make sure he paid his bills on time today and said he was a little short. Kingsley sent Yurik to rob some banks, but it caught the attention of Spider-Man, leading to Yurik being arrested. Kingsley also later sold the identity of the crime master to a new thug who was eventually defeated by Venom and Spider-Man. He also sold the identity and costume to a criminal who called himself Bruin, but Bruin was tricked by Kingsley. He gave the money Kingsley stole to Osborn, who was not happy about this and took over many of his brands too quickly while venomous Spider-Man was busy fighting the Avengers. Kingsley soon summoned Steppo and Ringmaker to make money, but the three were quickly defeated by the Green Goblin's Monster Alliance, leading to a conflict between Kingsley and Osborn. Final battle. Kingsley used his forces to launch an all-out attack until the Green Goblin declared a truce. The Green Goblin thought that they could combine both forces to defeat Spider-Man, as the fight between them was pointless and costly. Kingsley brainwashed and controlled his servant Claude into becoming evil and sent him to fight Osborn in a decisive battle. During the battle, Claude was killed and Kingsley fled to Paris, deciding to start rebuilding his personal empire once again. The evil ghost was like a weed and was difficult to completely defeat. Villain. He was also vindicated for a period of time when the Red Skull clone arrived with Sentinels to defeat him when the ones who tried to oppose him. Magneto recruits several villains to fight Kingsley, who is forced to join Magneto's team. The villains arrive to help Rainbow Witch and Dr. Doom. They cast a spell that reverses the brain axis of the Red Skull clone and defeats him. The spell affects not only Red Skull, but everyone present, turning the superheroes evil and the villains very righteous. Just not the evil they were before. Shortly after the personality reversal feature is revoked, Kingsley becomes evil again. He regains control of his previous forces and summons Beetle, Blizzard, Bruin, Killer Monkey, Returner, Unicorn, Viper, Bionic Bird, and Quetzalcoatlus to become his subordinates. Ghost is also joined by members of the Sinister Six, including Davis, Iron Spider, Bombshell, Electro, and Spot. They attempt to take down a S.H.I.E.L.D. ship. After being killed and knocked unconscious and thrown out of the spaceship, Kingsley revived a few months later to temporarily work for Osborn. Of course, the above is only a small part of the story. With clues from the comics, the possibility of Ned Leeds becoming Hobgoblin in the next movie is very high. Hobgoblin promises to bring thrilling and dramatic details. Let's wait for the surprises that Marvel will bring in Spider-Man 4.